You can't judge a book by its cover. One of my partners, who is an Amen member, when I joined the practice, kept asking me and kind of trying to get me to pray with my patients. I gave him all the typical excuses. It takes so much time. What if I get rejected? What if I offend somebody? And how's this really going to impact care? So he tried to belay all of my concerns. But the one thing that really made a difference is he goes, hey, why don't you just give it a shot, try it out, and see what happens. And then he told me, in my whole career, I've only been turned down 5 times for prayer. So next week, I went for it. In the first week, I got turned down 5 times, easily. But the great thing is my successes were growing in number, and it was much more rewarding having people say yes and praying with them. Now, I typically had a trigger where if there was a big decision to be made or there's going to be a procedure, that's when I was going to pray with the patient. Now, the next week was really, really brutal. I had 3 rejections in a row, including one patient that told me, hey, doc, I trust you, but let's not pray. And that's because he did not feel like he wanted to leave it up to chance and leave it up to God. So I was really feeling down, and I was like, God, you got to give me an easy one. Please send me like a priest or a nun or someone I know who's not going to turn me down. So in clinic the next day, I had a patient who had abnormal stress test and was having angina. So I knew this is going to be a heart catheterization, which is a procedure. So I knew that this is the kind of patient that I told myself already I'm going to pray with. So I walk in the door, and this guy was not a nun. He wasn't a priest. He had long hair, leather vest, tattoos all over his arms. He's basically a biker guy. And I don't know if I did this, but I probably looked up and said, God, are you kidding me? So we had a great conversation. I said, hey, you probably need to get a cardiac catheterization, maybe a stent. And he's like, that's great. And then I go, really, I'm supposed to pray with this guy. This is one of my triggers to do this. So I go, sir, I don't know if you want to, I don't know if you believe in this, but would it be okay if we just prayed for your procedure? And he stuck out his hands and goes, that'd be great, doc. And so I grabbed both his hands, had a nice short prayer, procedure went great, got a stent, doing really well, still my patient. So I learned a couple of things that day. Number one is you can't judge a book by its cover. This guy looked like he was not going to want to receive prayer, but he was totally open arms, wanted to get prayed for. 2, God has a really cool sense of humor. The Bible verse this made me think about is John 7:24. Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment.